During the regular BERT class, we covered hazard materials. Captain Thurn gave the presentation on the DVD and all that sort of stuff, and he concentrated a lot on it's on chapter 2 of your student guide, if you got it, and it included stuff like this, all these little signs that are on tanker trucks and what have you. And we had a lot of pictures of inside Home Depot and what wasn't put together right and all that sort of stuff. Well, we're not going to do that today because we're concentrating on our house. And you have a handout. It's actually 2 handouts together. We're going to use this a little bit later on. So today it's household hazard material and how to handle these hazards around the house. I was going to mention later on plastic sheeting and duct tape to take care of that, but Leslie did that. In case you're not familiar with what she's talking, this is the sheathing, and this little thing tells you what to do. And you're not going to be able to do it when the smoke is in the air. You're going to have to be ready. So I suggest that you measure your windows, cut these to size, use the duct tape, have it all kind of ready. It's kind of hard to have the duct tape ready. Maybe you can big up some small, make some mini rolls and put them in the closet near the windows that you're at. We hope that doesn't occur, but it might. When I started thinking about this, I started thinking there has to be some sort of one element that encompasses all the hazardous materials that we have to deal with. And if you remember, we had a toxic incident a few months ago in Rancho Benicia where 2 chemicals became unfriendly to one another in the middle of the night. It was late at night, wasn't it? 10 o'clock or so? Yeah. And in a storage shed, 2 little containers got together and created some odors, and people called the fire department. You had lots of firemen, the hazmat team, suits, all this sort of stuff, all because there were 2 chemicals in a shed that started to leak. Well, as I understand it, that was from a previous owner. Well, nobody had cleaned house, so I figured the element of what brings us all together is just plain good housekeeping. Get rid of your stuff, take care, keep clean, look at your inventory of materials. Like she found a leaky container in her little bag. That's a very simple thing. But on the broad scale, look at keeping your house premises neat and orderly and get rid of these things. We're in a little safer time, I think, chemical-wise than we have been in a long time. If you listen to commercials, people are selling products that are quote-unquote green, more environmentally friendly. I stress that a lot. And it's kind of hard to look around and find a lot of household chemicals that are really bad nowadays. If you remember, Vanish toilet bowl cleaner used to be in a can, and it was a crystal, and you put it in your toilet bowl and it fizzled. It made a lot of bubbly sounds. And if the material got on the paint on the outside of the can, it ate the paint off the can. So that's not around anymore. We have different products. So things are getting safer all the time. We don't have to deal with these things. However, we do have some things kicking around. I looked around my house. I found very little in the house itself that was really bad. Lysol toilet bowl cleaner tells you don't drink it. Well, really? But they all say that because somebody sued somebody somewhere along the line and they're covering their rear end. So good housekeeping, I think, is the underlying principle of what's going on. So what's in your home? How is your housekeeping? What I suggest is you identify your hazards in your home. And with me, it was in the garage where everything gets stored. I keep 2 cars in the garage. And what's the biggest hazardous there? Got an Oldsmobile that holds 25 gallons of gasoline. and a Ford that holds 17 and a Buick that holds 9 or I forgot what it is, but there's gasoline sitting in your garage. Lawnmower fuel. It always amazes me, my neighbors across the street have power lawnmowers, and they keep little cans of gasoline in their garage. They don't keep it outside. One guy, he's an engineer with a master's degree, and he's got this little can. I was over there talking to him one day, and the lid, the little screw-on lid, was not on the can. So he had essentially had gas vapors coming out into his garage. Not very safe practice. So I kind of brought that to his attention, and he found the little cap. But again, it goes back to taking care of your housekeeping. What I'm going to suggest is that you get yourself, where'd it go? I keep a box of these things stapled to the wall in the garage. Disposable latex gloves. When you're handling things, you don't know what you're going to be handling. They're very cheap. Put these on and start going through your home, or your garage in my case, and start looking for, oh, this is the most hazardous thing we had in our house, sterno liquid fuel for fondues and chafing dishes. We haven't used it in 20 years, so that's got to go.
You never know.
Never know. Fuel injector. For your fuel injected engine, this is flammable, but you're not going to throw it away because it costs money. Stains, oil-based stains are going away. I just love this product, and I went to get it again because I have a gazebo-like structure in the backyard. I give it a treatment of this stuff once a year. Can't find it anymore. I went all over that. Got it at Home Depot originally. Finally went to the manufacturer. They don't make it anymore. I said, what's the substitute? There is none. So the reason they got rid of it, it's an oil-based paint, and they have the same problem we're all having, is getting rid of your stuff. So they just quit. This little can, I paid probably $6 for. I ordered a front door sign for my house. It's got 118 and a little nice green frame around it. It had 2 little dowel holes where the screws go. So I went to my garage and found 2 little dowels and cut them off to the right length, sanded them, and said, gee, I got to have the paint that matches. So I called the manufacturer of the sign back in New Jersey, I think it was, and said, what color is that? And they said, Hunter Green. I went down to Ace and got Hunter Green. I went twice, $6. Now what am I going to do with the can? I have no other green like that except that little frame around the numbers on my house. It's got to go. But I'm cheap, so I'll probably hang on to it, and I'll think of something green. Probably won't, though. Just go along with the sterno 20 years from now. But again, housekeeping, back to my own personal housekeeping. What I'm going to suggest that you do as your project, what are you going to do when you get home after anchoring everything down? Get yourself some cardboard boxes and start going through your stuff. And put your oil-based paints in one can, your latex or box of your latex paints in another box, your insecticides and things like that, a Roundup. Well, I'm not going to throw Roundup away; it's too expensive. And stuff like that you're not going to use anymore. Things that are outdated, things that you're not going to use anymore, things you haven't used for a long, long time. Separate them. And you're going to have to read the labels as you go through. Does it say combustible or flammable? If it says combustible or flammable, it's going to have to go up to American Canyon to properly get rid of it.